the next panel called Participatory Action and Policy Change Amidst Crisis. Ulfat Khatar is the Regional Project Manager for the SAWI project and Project Manager for the KIP Index project at the Center for Inclusive Business and Leadership for Women at AUB OSB. She previously holds an MA in Social Sciences from the Lebanese University. Ulfat has 19 years of experience in research, contract, fund, and compliance management in both Lebanon and Qatar. Ulfat also enjoys 4 years of theater performance and script writing in which she addresses topics related to challenges facing women in our region. If you haven't seen her act, I encourage you to go and see one of her fantastic plays, some of which she writes herself. So Ulfat, over to you.
Thank you very much, Charlotte, for this introduction. Thank you. And welcome everyone to this panel, Participatory Action and Policy Change Amidst Crisis. Building on our co-creating methodology, I have seen the importance of partnerships. As a project manager in the KIP Index project, I have been working with a team of partners in 11 countries, and then with 8 countries as regional manager in the SAWI project. It's been challenging, but very inspiring to see us build together in different contexts, working together to bring forward the SAWI project. I'd like us to introduce 3 of our partners. Dr. Manal Aboubi. Manal is a professor at University Mohammed V Rabat, Morocco, and research affiliate at Economia HEM Research Center. She is the vice president of ORSM. Her research area is corporate social responsibility and social innovations. She has published several papers in numerous journals. She is a holder of the Social Innovations Chair at Economia HEM Research Center. Ms. Amal Belaid. Amal is an entrepreneur with a background in business development and a track record of success in the oil and energy industry. She is the founder of Apodiox Business Services, which aims to establish an innovative interface that elaborates strategies and offers advisory services for SMEs and international organizations with the target to spur economic growth. And Ms. Thana Al-Khassaouni. Thana is a regional transformative leader, well known for pioneering, practicing leadership, agility, and efficiency in leading organizational and cultural change to achieve business growth. Thana is also a certified facilitator with proven track record for contributing and laying solid grounds for a mentorship approach in MENA. She acts as the executive director for Jordan Business and Professional Women Association, focusing on gender inclusion to ensure increasing women participation in the economy. Thana is also a business consultant and offers her time to support business growth. First, thank you, Amal, Manal, and Thana for participating in this panel. I would like to ask you if you can present your organizations briefly in a few words, and I will start with you, Thana. Tfaddali.
Thank you, Alfat. Thank you, AAB. Thank you, the whole team, actually, and USAID, MEPI, and OSAP for believing in the power of women. Business and Professional Women Association, it's a membership-based organization, a very proactive and dynamic association that has been in the country working and an affiliation of an international business network. We believe that we are a powerhouse that bridge and bring value to women, to inspire leaders and business owners, along with also being able to foster a powerful community that give back to young generations, business owners, entrepreneurs, startups, and provide a new pathway for innovations and expanding of entrepreneurial thinking, future leaders of women who are inspiring and professionally successful. We grow to flourish, and we're here together to support women in business.
Thank you so much. Amal, can you tell us, please, briefly about Apodiox?
Yes, sure. Thank you, Ulfa. Thank you, everyone. Thank you to all your participants for your interest in this event. Well, Apotheox is a consultancy and advisory firm. As it was just mentioned by you, Ulfa, well, this firm was founded after an extensive experience in the oil and gas sector, in strategy and business development at the level of the MENA region. Well, I used to be in a male-dominated sector. Now, I mean, this firm is female-led and female founded, which is a great advancement. Well, our mission is to offer strategies to international institutions and SMEs to help them grow their value. We mainly focus on projects and organizations that share our values in terms of driving change, in accelerating growth, and amplifying impact. Last but not least, we are fully committed to advancing diversity, equity, and inclusion in everything that we do. We do it at the level of our own workplace. We do it with our clients, and we insist to having an impact in our local communities.
Thank you so much, Amal. Manal?
Yeah,
Yes.
Thank you, Ulfat, and good morning or afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure for me to be part of this final event, but also being part of the SAWI project for more than 1 year. I'm leading a chair on social innovation in Economia, HM Research Center. It is a research center in a business school, HM, where we are leading mainly applied research in many areas like social innovation, organizational behavior, international management, and social sciences. And in Economia, we are mainly driven by creating knowledge, as Charlotte was explaining, that makes creating a knowledge that makes mainly sense around us, whether for policymakers, employers, students, and researchers. And it is from that stance that we were very happy to join the CIBIL team for the SAWI project and enhance women inclusion in Morocco, and also contribute to that in the MENA region.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your partnership. And I'll start with my first question. We have 2 questions on this panel. I'll start with the first one, which is about challenges. Can you please tell us how you succeed in bringing employers on board this project? What strategies did you use? And again, let's start with you, Thana, please, if you can tell us about the main challenges in Jordan.
So again, when we started in CAP Index, it was a challenge to bring to the table the concept of recruitment, retention, and promotion, and look at them from a different perspective. So having said that, human resources in general within corporates and within the local community was only addressed from a payroll point of view and salaries, and that's it. There isn't any HR system. There hasn't been any investment from resources, from financials into that domain. So bringing the corporates or the employers on board and getting them to understand the value of why is it important to have such an activity within their HR or human resources was the first challenge that we have faced. On the second point is allocation of resources from their own part, because at the end of the day, as you know, our approach was totally different. We have tailored and customized it to their needs as well. We went the extra mile and we built the capacity of the employers. So it was another layer of who to allocate for the project itself. I'm not going to say it was only a challenge. And then we were able to find a lineup of those courageous, bold people who were able to come on board and say, okay, fine, we're going to try. This is something of interest. And they were the pioneers. And we're very proud of all the employers that provided and showed interest and committed their time, their resources to be on board. The other actually challenge, I would say, it was around tackling the data. And I think Charlotte came to the point where knowledge is power. There isn't enough knowledge or data for us to be able to build upon. and maybe to convince some employers to understand the value, because it is very tangible value. And we had to do all the researches, all the indexes all together. So I think these were like the major challenges from our perspective. Last but not least, I'm going to end by, if we're going to be supporting, I know the fund was a little bit limited. We've done as much as possible, the whole partners. But I think the other component is it's only one pillar of so many. And we have to continue and ensure that this journey of inclusion of women and strengthening that within any corporate or any employers has to be going on a higher direction. So I hope we'll be able to run another activity together and continue what we started here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sana. Hopefully, yes, we will never stop and we will continue. Now, I want to hear from Amal. Let us know about the challenges, the main challenges you faced during this journey in Algeria.
Thank you. Well, I will not repeat what Sana has just mentioned, but I would like to come back to the macro context that we were confronted to, and I think that this was the common ground shared by all the countries. Well, here, of course, and globally, we have been facing this multidimensional crisis due to the pandemic that had an unprecedented impact on the economy, on the financial situation in each and every country, and also on the social dynamics. Well, of course, this was reflected at the level of each and every organization, each and every entity, because economic players, had to focus on one main aspect in their lifetime, that was their own resilience. And because everyone was roughly impacted by this global crisis of supply, of demand. So new plans had to be established, a new way of working has to be invented, and organization had to continually face this turbulent context where a new thinking and a brutal rupture of their old way of working had to be done in a quiet, quick fashion. So how this was reflected on our day-to-day operations, of course, all this had a very strong link to the HR departments that needed to establish new procedures, a new way of working, and reorganize their time allocation and HR capital in a different way. So we really had to compete in a very fierce way with these high corporate priorities of resilience and survival, and trying to advance this nonetheless important issue of advancing women in the workplace. So that was the major challenge for us, especially that it had also to challenge sometimes a way of working and internal HR systems that had approved efficiency, but at the level of some SMEs that were not formally captured somewhere. So we had to address this gap, try to come back and to close these gaps, plus trying to add this additional layer of having this gender lens in the HR policy in a structured way.
Thank you so much for this information and for describing the challenges. Great points, and thank you so much, Amal. Now I want to travel from Algeria to Morocco, and I ask Manal.
Yeah, well, actually, regarding the fact of bringing employers on board, actually, that was not challenging from this beginning, because bringing employers to discuss gender inclusiveness is not a challenge by itself, because in Morocco, employers are already aware of that issue, and many of them are already engaged in the SDGs implementation within their organizations. Mm-hmm. But then, and thanks to the several SAWI meetings we had at the MENA level, what we have explored is this huge gap in terms of data availability that documents women's inclusiveness and or exclusiveness in the workplace. And this was extremely interesting for employers. So the main argument that has helped us bring in employers on board is the KIP index, actually. Employers were very interested to know more about women's inclusion data. How is it happening in Morocco? What organizations are doing to advance their practices in that issues? And also, what are the lived experiences of women in terms of inclusion and exclusion? They really wanted to hear from the field what is happening and what are the data that is available so that they can go further and go beyond their convictions. So also beside that, employers also needed a kind of valuable network, which is something that we were able to offer them thanks to the great network we had at the MENA region. This network offered the possibility of exchanging best practices, working on what works and what doesn't. And so they all agreed with the idea of creating what we have called here in Morocco, the consortium of Moroccan employers engaged for women inclusion. And they all are engaged, and we are also engaged and very motivated to continue working on this, because then it's kind of frustrating if you stop here after all the great job we did together up to now.
Thank you so much. So, we asked about the challenges, and as I mentioned in the brief description or introduction of this panel, it was challenging but inspiring. And hearing from you, talking about the challenges, but at the same time, finding or how you resolved it or you dealt with it, and how you want to continue the work. This will take me to the second question and the last question in this panel. What was the proudest moment? We're talking now about the bright side of this journey. What was the proudest moment, and what do you hope to see next from this network we created together? And let's continue with you, Manal. You were talking about the challenges, and now let us know about the proudest moment.
Well, everything was very great, let's say that this way. It is so hard to summarize all those more than 12 working months in one proudest moment. But let me say that, our Moroccan consortium is a great achievement by itself, because we managed to make employers working together. Additionally, I'm personally very proud of the way we worked together, and we were continuously supported by the civil team to co-create and co-construct the whole process. But also, I would say, as a country partner, my proudest value is, I would say, my team here in Morocco. Very engaged researchers who raised the challenge of making women inclusiveness advance at the managerial level with employers, but also at the academic level. And I'm very proud to announce that based on the research done in the SAWI project, we have published 2 papers. One that have received the prize of the best paper in a conference in France last November, and another one that has just been accepted for publication in international review in France. So I'm very proud of this. What is next? So this was the second part of your question, Ulfat.
Yes.
What we hope
to see next. Yeah.
Well,
we created together. Yeah.
We are very engaged actually to continue working with employers for at least 2 areas. The first one is about policies implementation, and the second one is about impact measure. They are very interested to do that. And we are, as academic, we are also very interested to do that. And from the academic level, we will be more than happy to use all the data gathered in the SAWI project in the MENA region to publish together some scientific papers and contribution based on that.
Thank you so much, Manal. And we are proud as well of all what you have mentioned in this panel. Amal, tell us about you, the proudest moment and what you see next.
Yes, thank you. Well, I'm also very proud of what Manal has just announced. So let me share this with you, and bravo Manal and to the whole team, because we're part of the network. So it somehow reflects this on us. Well, yeah, also, I mean, from my side, it's quite difficult, I mean, to summarize, I mean, those many moments of pride that we have had all through this long year of cooperation. We had them at different moments, at different times. Maybe I will summarize it in one statement, that is that, especially in terms of the impact that we want to have with the companies we have worked with, is that we have reached the conclusion that the companies that have demonstrated this commitment to gender-related data, to improve processes, to share best practices, are for us the companies that will drive their economic sector and the economy forward. I mean, it's really a conviction. They could prove it to us. Because I mean, of course, this project at its scale today is a pilot project. And if we come back on the figures of the international forum that says that we need more than 140 years to close the gender gap, well, I was really proud to share this philosophy of working on strategies of acceleration. We're working on in a very effective way on a different momentum to close this important issue. And I will come back on what just mentioned Charlotte. I mean, the power of data operated. Why I'm telling this, it's because, you know, when we were trying to engage employers to join this movement, many of them were not understanding or did not understand the issue of the gender gap properly. They were not conscious of how much far we were globally. And this shocking figure of being or of having women participating for less than 20% of the economic activity was a big shock to some of them, despite the fact that they were fully engaged in the SDGs, despite the fact that they had a corporate company culture that valued female talent and diversity more generally. So thanks to this and the power of knowledge, again, we have seen a quiet change in the mindset, in the sense that these employers took their role and responsibility and a full ownership of their role and responsibility in advancing this and impact. And this was reflected not only at their level in trying to improve the way they captured data, in the way they were trying to improve their internal policies, but also in the way they have communicated in a very impactful way on the International Women's Day. And this was really a moment of pride. The way leaders of industries in the financial sector, in the health sector, communicated about women's role in the society was really meaningful. And I think that thanks to this, we have somehow collectively reached an increased advocacy capacity. What was your second part regarding the way we wanted to move forward? I'm not sure.
Yeah, we were asking about the proudest moment and how to, like, how you see what you see next. And but I have only 1 minute now left, so I think I will switch to and go to Thana now to end with you, Thana.
We're speaking about fairness here. Okay, I'm gonna be precise, and for the first time of my life, I have committed to my minutes that you have given to me. But and my proudest moment, allow me, I have to mention a couple of things or some things, and I'm gonna be very brief. My proudest moment was that BPWA is one of the partners, regional partners, for such an impressive, innovative approach. Our proudest moment was when we talked to our expertise on the local level, Rada Hoot and Yara Masannat, and they accepted to do the job at the minimum of their fees, daily fees, because they believe this is something needed. My proudest moment when I started meeting with our employers and recruiting, and one of the employers was saying, sorry, we don't need to change words, he and she, to have an inclusive gender policies within our company. And to be honest, he challenged me more that we want to see and ensure that there is more outcome. And I know they will be lining up to come and see the value and the benefits of it. My proudest moment was in March when my team member, who has coordinated for the past 3 years the project, Iman Sleman. Thank you so much, Iman, and I would like to thank you in front of everybody, because she put all her efforts, and she's done a great job. And I'm very proud when she presented the achievement. Last but not least, my proudest moment is today, when I can say I belong to Sebel as BPWA, as Sanaa Kassameh, as the whole team, and Sebel is part of our journey, and all the employers will be able to say that we belong to such a community. Halla waqta, it is time. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you all for your partnership. Thank you to all country partners and 8 countries for this journey. We are very proud of this work, and I cannot thank you enough for the work we have done together. And we're looking forward to continue the work. Thank you so much. And now we will end with a video. We're very proud of our multi-sector, multi-country partnerships that have enabled us to make a change in the region, despite all challenges. Let us hear what some of our country partners have to say. Thank you again.